نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وكشف الله به الغمة وتركنا على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد واجزه خير ما جزيت به نبيا عن أمته يا رب العالمين. أما بعد, as usual, brothers, I remind myself and remind you to fear Allah wherever you are, to be righteous, to be pious. Remember, the death can come to you any minute, any second. Don't be distracted by being healthy, by being young, by being strong. Strong people die, elderly people die, children die, born baby die, just born, and he died. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. My brothers, it is obligatory on each of us to remind our brothers, to make nasiha, advice to them. When you see your brother is doing something wrong or he is committing sin or he doesn't pray, whatever wrong he's doing, you must advise him, you must remind him. But, and I will say but 100 times, how do you advise him? How do you remind him? This is the main issue. This is the main important, the way to advise him. Unfortunately, there are some people who shout on their brothers when he see him doing something wrong. In public, at front everybody. You have committed a sin, not him. You, the one who are making advice, you committed the wrong thing, not him. This is not the way to advise people. This is not the way to remind people in public, shouting at him. That's wrong. This is not the way of Rasulullah ﷺ. Rasulullah ﷺ never ever advised one of his companions, the Sahaba, in public. Even that Sahabi who entered the masjid and he make wrong salah, he did not shout at him, he called him. And then he just tell him very, he whispered almost. I don't have evidence that he whispered in his ear, but he talked to him nicely. He brought him to front to him. He doesn't shout at him after Sahaba. And then tell him, repeat your salah. This is wrong salah. 3 times. This is the way. When you advise your brother in public, in front of everybody, you have actually insulted him. You actually abused him. You did not advise him. Rasulullah ﷺ said, ad-din al-nasiha. Yes, the religion is an advice. Ad-din al-nasiha. We must make nasiha. We must remind each brother, any brother, and remind each other, but in a nice way. ادعو إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة. Call in the sake of Allah with good, with wisdom, with good words. humbling. Never, shout at your brothers or sisters or anyone, even your own children at home. They will not accept. Even your son, when you shout at your son out front, his mother, his sister, he will hate you. He will not change his habit. He will not change his wrong. He maybe become stubborn because of you, stub-minded. Whatever you say to him, he will not correct his wrongs or his mistake. Why? Because you make fun of him at front of his family. Never, brothers. They say, if you want to gain his heart, okay, if you want to gain his mind, to make his attention to you, first of all, gain his heart. Be soft with him, nicely. Then his heart now in your hand, because I give you an example. Rasulullah ﷺ one day he advised Mu'adh ibn Jabal, but he prepared him to listen to him first. He said, Mu'adh, do you know that I love you for the sake of Allah? Allahu Akbar. Rasulullah ﷺ saying to me, Mu'adh ibn Jabal, he loves me. So now Rasulullah ﷺ, he gained his heart. He gained Mu'adh ibn Jabal's heart in his hand. Then he gave him advice. And he responded to the advice immediately, Mu'adh. This is the way, brothers. What's happening now, unfortunately, is people, when somebody see in the masjid, hey, you're wrong, what are you doing? Anta kafir, you are disbeliever. Allah will not accept your salah. This is not the way. Take him aside. Take him aside and then listen, whisper in his ear, talk to him. Tell him first of all, Wallahi, I love you in the sake of Allah. But I saw that you have done something wrong and I want to advise you alone. Because when you speak to him in public, you have actually made fun of him and it's almost an insult. So remember, brother, that we supposed to advise, we supposed to remind each other, but not. It should be in a nice way, not in public, should be in secret. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا كما ينبغي لوجه ربنا وعظيم سلطانه وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Also, one of the best way also to remind each other, remind him of the bounties of Jannah. If the man or this person, whether he is your friend, whether he is your relative, whether he is your co-workers, in the work, you are mate or co-workers. If you want to advise him and you see this man is not following, is not really implementing Islam, never ever shout at him, tell him, you are actually going to Jahannam. You are going to hellfire. He will not listen to you. This is another insult. My brothers, I will give you 4 chapters. I want you to read these chapters. First chapter is Surah Al-Rahman. Read Surah Al-Rahman. Read the verses from 45 until 76. Remember this number. Read Surah Al-Rahman, chapter Al-Rahman, from 45 to 76. In this surah, Allah is describing the bounties, the blessing is waiting for us in Jannah. Use these words, use this, verses when you're advising people, especially if he's not good in Muslim. Also, give him Surah Al-Waqi'ah. Surah Al-Waqi'ah also from the ayah 17 until ayah 40. Al-Waqi'ah from the verse 17 until the verse 40. Alright? And also Surah Al-Insan from the ayah 14 until 22. From the ayah 11 until 22. Also, final but not actually all Quran has, but I picked up this ayah chapter, only Surah Al-Rahman and Surah Al-Waqi'ah and Surah Al-Insan and finally Surah Al-Naba. You know Surah Al-Naba. From the ayah 31 to 36. عَمَّا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ. Read in عَمَّا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ 31 to 36. This is, you will see the blessing and the bounties Allah is preparing for us in Jannah. Use these ayat when you are advising people, especially Muslim. Remind him, tell him, my brother, where are you going? If you continue like this, look what Allah is preparing for us. Look what Allah is preparing for us. Read this ayat. If you want to really to be there among us, you should really straighten out yourself. Nicely, politely, with good words. اللهم لا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا ولا مبلغ علمنا ولا نصيرنا. حبب إلينا الإيمان زين في قلوبنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعلنا إخوانا متحابين في الله. اللهم اجعلنا محابين متحابين. اللهم اجعلنا صالحين مصلحين. اللهم اجعلنا صالحين مصلحين يا رب العالمين. اللهم نسألك بأسمائك الحسنى وصفاتك العلى أن تهدي أبناءنا وبناتنا. اللهم حبب إليهم الإيمان وزينه في قلوبهم وكرر إليهم الكفر والفسوق والعصيان. اللهم يا رب احفظ بناتنا ونساءنا من التبرج والسفور يا رب العالمين والخروج للأسواق بالبخور والعطور. اللهم يا رب احميهن من حضور الأماكن الفسوق والفجور يا رب العالمين. اللهم يا رب أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين واحمي حوزة الدين يا رب العالمين. اللهم يا رب آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.